I call this meeting of the Northwest Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that the notice of the meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551. Now we will move to closed session.
Especially, where's Mark? Did you?
First time they gave you a name, they said, like, when Steve came on.
Maybe I did.
We'll make you another one.
Good.
Okay, we're going to reconvene now into our regular meeting with the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance. Dr. Warren?
All right, folks, thank you for being here. Glad everybody can make it tonight. If you feel comfortable doing so, please pray with me. Our dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day. Lord, thank you for the rain. Thank you for all your blessings. And Lord, just ask you to be with our board members tonight, be with everyone in attendance, and please see us safely home. And Lord, above all things else, just please provide your love, your direction, your kindness, and your protection to our children. It's in your name we pray. Amen. All right, folks, we have no, y'all were just over there. There you go. All right, Paola, wave at everybody. This is Paola Lopez, and Jose and Laura are her parents. Good to see y'all. These guys are going to be doing the pledges for us. So Paola, let's see, favorite subjects is she says one of her favorite subjects is math. Very good. You want to be a math teacher?
Yeah.
Ooh, come see me. Let's see. What are you, 10 years old?
Yes.
All right, about 12 years. Okay. Math because I like to work hard and get better, but my favorite subject is writing, outstanding, and I like to write and often write about in my free time. At home, I like to do my homework. Good job. I like to ride my bike and play the Wii. There you go. Paola's words of wisdom is think before you speak and respect others. Fantastic. Mr. Bircher is here. They're principal from Peterson Elementary. Mr. Bircher says about Paola is a leader at Peterson Elementary. She serves our campus and is a positive role model. She works hard and she does the very best she can in everything she attempts. We are so grateful for Paola's positive leadership at Peterson, and she continues to make a positive difference. Good job. Very good job. All right, Jose, wave at everybody. All right. Are you happy to be here, Jose?
Yes.
Okay, good. Jose Manjares, did I say it right? Very good. And then Jose and Anna? Good. Thank you for being here. Jose, I like math. Good job, because it's fun and I'm good at it. I also like reading because I enjoy it. Keep enjoying it. Great job, Jose. I like to do my homework, draw, and spend time with my family and friends. At school, I'm involved in leadership and safety patrol, running club, and art club. I'm good for running and safety patrol, but you lost me with the running club, Jose. Jose's words of wisdom: enjoy life and have fun. Mr. Bircher says Jose is one of Peterson's many outstanding students. He is kind, respectful, and always does his very best. His overall attitude and effort is everything and is second to none as he balances a happy heart and a great work ethic. We're very proud of him at Peterson. Great job, Jose. Okay, Lindsay, wave at everybody. Lindsay Wells, and then Aaron and Jennifer. Good to see y'all. One of my favorite subjects, we got math. Mr. Bircher? Good job. One of my favorite subjects is math because I like numbers and math comes very easy to me. Outstanding. I like to read in my free time. My favorite book is Fablehaven. Nice. I am actually writing 2 books right now. All right, and I'm involved in the leadership, safety patrol, running club, and basketball performance club. And you like to do church activities. Lindsay's words of wisdom: it's better to be kind than to be funny. Very nice. Mr. Virtue says, Lindsay shows responsibility and determination in every way at Peterson Elementary School. To say she's an amazing character and integrity is an understatement. She is examples of how others should act. We are very proud of her and the positive difference she makes at Peterson. Guys, thank y'all for being here. So you're going to lead us in the American Pledge and then the Texas Pledge. So you guys start whenever you're ready. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Very good job. Thank y'all. Guys, stay right there. Stay right there. We've got a little bitty gift for you. Thank y'all.
Okay, now item 5, recognitions. Dr. Warren?
Mrs. Coughlin, do we have?
Yes, we have quite a few. If you and President Kopp want to join me at the front. And as you're making your way down, I'd like to invite Miss Amanda Rogers, and her principal is here, Dr. Leanne Romer, if you want to come to the front. The Junior Achievement of the Chisholm Trail has named Thompson Elementary School teacher Amanda Rogers as its Program Coordinator of the Year, which is the top honor for her role in the regional organization. She's a second grade teacher at Thompson Elementary and serves in this volunteer role by coordinating an elementary JA in a day class. She personally coordinated 40 parent and community volunteers for the event, which the organization says makes the day a fun experience for teachers, volunteers, and most importantly, the students. So thank you.
Also tonight, we want to recognize a couple of our community partners who have done some great things for the school district. First off, I'd like to invite Principal Chris Jones up to the front to join Dr. Warren and Ms. Cobb. Tonight, we're going to recognize First Baptist Church of Justin. If we could have tonight, Bo Hinoy, Sean Finney, and pastor students Cody Moore join us up front. First Baptist Church Justin. Oh, I thought you were going to bring your son up front with you. You know, he's great. And Cody's going to bring his son Owen to join us up front as well. 7 months old. First Baptist Church has been a long-time partner of Northwest ISD. They also have partnered with NISD Stadium on our advertising program. But they are adopting Pike Middle School this year as an adopt-a-school partner. So we'd like to welcome First Baptist Church Justin. Thank you. Also here tonight from United Way of Denton County is the Director of Education and Workforce Initiatives, Alicia McElroy. If you would, join us up front. And first in organizing, Shirley Falls. NISD's annual back-to-school fair, in partnership with United Way of Denton County, provided school supplies and services to hundreds of students in need, continuing the district's tradition of ensuring all students were ready for school. Over 600 students were served this year. Services included immunizations, sports physicals, haircuts, and more. We'd like to recognize them for their assistance, because without them, it'd be very difficult to pull off. Thank you, United Way. Yep.
Item 6 is public participation, and we do have someone tonight. So I have this little statement I need to read real quick. Public participation is an opportunity for the public to address the board on any matter, whether or not it's on the agenda. The board may place reasonable restraints on the number, length, and frequency of presentations, so long as it does not unfairly discriminate among speakers based on viewpoint. 30 minutes are allotted for public participation. People who wish to speak must sign up and complete a request to speak form before the meeting begins. Each presentation is limited to 3 minutes. Groups of more than 5 people shall appoint one person to speak for the group. Speakers should refrain from mentioning by name any employee or student about whom they are complaining. The board may not deliberate or take action on a presentation about an item not on the agenda. I believe Mr. Brian Webb, please step to the podium and state your name and address.
Yes, thank you very much. Brian Webb, 4112 High Road. And I'm here tonight to introduce myself to the Board of Trustees for Northwest ISD. I'm a candidate for County Commissioner Precinct 4, of which Northwest ISD is a key critical component of it. I have served Flower Mound's Town Council for the last 6 years. I was term limited off in May, and we had great success in Flower Mound. And Northwest ISD served some of our community. And it was a secret that folks did not understand and recognize much, but of the number of ISDs that served the community. Northwest ISD was one. During my tenure on town council, we worked on many important issues that involved both the county and the state, with mobility, transportation, thoroughfares, and whatnot. And that is going to be one of the greatest challenges that faces Precinct 4 and actually all of Denton County. And you folks are right in the middle of it. So again, I wanted to say thank you for your service. The other thing I want to leave you with is it is always public education first, strong advocate for what you all do, and I thank you for serving your students and your educators. Again, thank you, Brian Webb, Precinct 4. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Webb.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to item 7, consent agenda, board. Mr. Wright?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Wright, a second by Mr. Sluter. All those in favor? Carry 7-0. Okay. Item 8, discussion action items. A, consideration of teacher's late resignation without good cause. Dr. Warren?
Board, we have 2 items on the agenda, on the discussion action agenda, that are late resignations. We've had 2 staff members who have resigned their contracts. We do not feel that they have good cause to do so, and so we're talking about the sanctity of the contract. The only recourse that we have is to, with your blessing, to send these to TEA to get their decision on good cause, and again, that's the recourse that we have when staff members do try to resign at this time of the school year. I recommend for A, under discussion action, I recommend that you consider Kelly Sosa's resignation without good cause, and propose that we send that to the State Board for educator certification for the abandonment of the contract.
Madam President,
Mr. Sluter?
I move that the board find that good cause did not exist for Kelly Sosa to resign and abandon her contract for the 2018-2019 school year, and the board authorize the superintendent or his designee to file a complaint with the State Board of Educators certification to seek sanctions for her abandonment of contract.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Sluter, a second by Mr. Wright. All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay, 6-1. Okay, and then on B, we have another consideration of teacher's late resignation without good cause. Dr. Warren?
And Board, it's the same issue. This is for Cassie Fox. I would recommend approval.
Madam President,
Mr. Sproles?
I move that the board find good cause did not exist for Casey Fox to resign and abandon her contract for the 2018-2019 school year, and that the board authorize the superintendent or his designee to file a complaint with the State Board of Educators certification to seek sanctions for her abandonment of contract.
I have a motion by Mr. Sproles, a second by Mr. Hastings. All those in favor? Okay, all those opposed? Okay, 5-2, carries. All right, our discussion action item C, 2018-19 District Improvement Plan. Dr. Warren?
All right, board, we presented this to you last board meeting, and all those involved in the district improvement plan are here to answer any of your questions. If you'll let me just go through, let me go through you just a brief amount of information on our 18-19 thing. There are your two Texas Education Code mandates from the state of Texas that you will ensure that this is developed and approved every year, and that I must annually develop and evaluate and revise the plan. And again, I told you we had a very good process, one of the best I've been a part of, as we track the district improvement plan through the year and check off those things that we've done well and plan for the future of what we don't. That is what, according to the Texas Education Code, that's what the district plan must contain in it. And I can certify to you that this plan does include all of those. We did a really good job now that we kind of started over with our strategic framework. So we integrated our new strategic framework into our strategic planning flowchart, starting with the core beliefs, going through the vision, mission statement, and then, of course, this last board meeting, you approved my performance objectives, which now are infused into the district improvement plan, which then will be used to create two really, really important documents throughout the district. Every campus will bring you a campus improvement plan, and then we're asking each department to bring me a department action plan to make sure we are totally integrated from our core beliefs all the way through our last plans to make sure that we are tracking what we should be doing this school year. So just a quick reminder of what you've approved as our strategic framework, our core beliefs, which of course I talked to a group of Wise County Chamber of Commerce members today and showed them our strategic framework. They love the first one. Everybody does. That we tell the world that kids come first. Our vision that we are empowering learners and leaders, which means every learner in our district is a leader and every leader is a learner. Our mission statement, and the most important thing for me, is that we include everyone, that everyone works for our children, from the kids themselves to our families, communities, and our partners. And then the three goals that really contain the framework of what we're doing. The learning experiences and pathways and personalized opportunities we'll provide to the kids. The people of our district who are so important, from those folks who are in front of the kids every day to those who are behind the teachers supporting them, and then just the environment where all of our stakeholders are engaged in the work that we do with our entire NISD family. So those are great strategic goals. So your improvement plan starts with the framework that I just explained to you. We have objectives aligned to that framework and to the 18-19 needs, and then the objectives that include my performance objectives that you just approved this last board meeting. The breakdown of the plan, 3 strategic goals, what I just explained to you. You have 9 performance objectives and 37 strategies that we will track throughout the year to make sure that those objectives are met. So there are your 4 academic goals that are part of the first strategic goal, talking about our experiences. So there's our literacy goal, our master's performance goal, career, college, and life readiness, which is a new concept for us. I think we've always believed in it. We just haven't said it. And then our emphasis on our most fragile learners, our PBMAS groups. So those are the 4 objectives for goal 1. Then you have 2 objectives for goal 2. That, and again, goal 2 is we're talking about our people, that we are going to improve the support for first-year teachers, and that we're going to recruit, and this is one of the a very important group, Kimberly, would you say? very important group for us, our guest educators. A lot of people call them substitute teachers. We call them guest educators in our district to make sure that we have really quality people who need to step in for us when we have those times when our teachers need to be outside the classroom. And then our last goal, talking about the environment and the culture that we have, looking at our student and staff safety, looking at the challenges that we will have, making sure that we are in the best financial success, have the best financial picture both this year and in the coming years, and that we will make sure that, and Rob is going to spearhead the district innovation, that if that is in our future, that we choose the very best plan to prioritize and really making the decision of if that's in our future. Just for your information, that's our schedule that we will follow throughout the year. Tonight, we are looking for your adoption of this process, and then looking at the submission of the campus improvement plans, the department action plans, and then all the way through. And then you can see several times during the school year where we review every point to our plan to make sure that we're on track. And if we're not, to make plans to get back to it. All right. Again, that gives you a little flow chart of where we are and where we are now and how did we get here from my superintendent's performance objectives, the plans, and then the campus plans. And as I said before when I introduced this to you last board meeting, I'm very proud of the planning processes. One of the best times I've ever had a superintendent sitting into the committees that did the strategic framework. That was an amazing experience for me about what our communities and our parents and our kids truly felt was in our future, and then to see how that trickled down through these plans and the culture that we're setting. I'm very pleased. I'm very proud of the whole process. So, again, all of us who are in here had a hand in somehow on the district improvement plan. After your questions, I will make a recommendation that we approve the 18-19 district improvement plan. Mrs. Kopp.
Any questions?
I have a question because I'm new. I don't know. But I have a question. At some point in the past, have we ever included in our improvement plan teaching the students how to set goals and to track their own performance?
I would say campus level, definitely. That is a strategy.
And we have the new course. What's the we've infused the new course at the 8th grade level to really talk to the kids, and that came out from House Bill 5, and the kids are trying to make decisions about endorsements, high school endorsements, and I really have liked that class. Visiting several that we're talking a lot about setting goals, setting a direction for your life, things like that. But that is absolutely something we can look at. Actually setting it as a specific goal. I mean, that kind of goes into the college career and life readiness, so we can absolutely look at that in the future.
Well, and just personally, to me, if I walk onto a campus and I ask a 4th grade student what their goal is for reading, could they tell me?
Right.
I mean,
I would say in some cases the answer would be yes. But we would use goal setting as a strategy, not the goal itself.
Right.
The strategy to increase, in that case, maybe reading achievement.
Yeah, just that the student has an idea of where they want to get to, and they've helped set that instead of somebody else setting it for them.
I would feel confident that many of our students could do that. Again, been on campus and the teacher would say that.
Michael and Stephanie are definitely shaking their heads, yes, back there.
That's good.
I can tell you I was in class of 1st graders today and asked if they already set goals, and they answered they all sure they had. But one of them wants to be a superhero.
Okay. That's a goal. That's funny.
That 8th grade class, is this the second year for that?
This is year 2. Yep.
Okay, yeah, it's great because that meeting I had with Celine talking about the trees and the pathways, they are being taught that. And my son's in 8th grade, so I'm hearing him coming home and talking to me about that, which is good because one of the things you mentioned is getting the word out to parents. Well, if the kids know about it, then they can explain to the parents because, on seeing social media, there's a lot of parents don't know about it yet. So I think that's great that the kids, when they go into start making their plan for 9th grade, they know what's out there. And then also as a parent, I really liked what I read in here. There's, I know we live in a great district already, but having it as a destination district for the teachers and then just all the stuff we're doing to make it even better make a good district even better, a great district better. I really liked what I read, so I'm excited about the future.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, I think this is well organized and it's so readable and there's really good information. And it does look like we've really raised the level of expectation. At the same time, as I read root cause, I thought, my goodness, there are lots of causes. There's not one. And so one of my wonderings is, how, as we move forward, what is the comfort level of the campus, because ultimately this is where the work is done, with making adjustments and changes? I know they have an October, or they have midpoints.
Right.
So.
No, that's a great question. And what we have tried to, the culture that we've tried to set is, number one is, if you look just the plan themselves, whether they be the DIP or the SITs, number one, we do not want these to be paperweights. We want these to be living documents that we able to do that. And we want to give everything that we try to do is centered around the needs of the campus. And that's what we've tried to communicate that to the building principals. We have to have 28 very successful professionals in our building principals to be able to succeed and to give them the ability to make, and that's why I think this district has done such a good job in that review process to be able to make adjustments. I mean, we did this last year. We found some of the strategies we did not need to do, and we were able to veer off. Rob?
I was just going to say, first of all, I appreciate you noticing that it's a little more in-depth than it has been in the past. I think that one of the things that I hope that you'll notice, in my time here in the district in the last 10 years, we spent more time this year with campuses working on their needs assessment and creating their own problem statements. So I think when you see the campus improvement plans come forward in the next few weeks, you'll see that they have autonomy on reaching those goals, and their strategies may be different, and even what they identified as a root cause could be different on their campus.
I think that is really important, because I really don't think there's one cause. And it does look like, as I review this, that one difference I see that I haven't seen before is more of an over-reliance on purchased programs, and not on the instructional development of our teachers. And our teachers are a tremendous investment, and they're really the future of learning. And so when I read in here that, and I know this is more about measure, but as those campus improvement plans come forward, how the teachers are growing their understandings, not because of some package we've purchased, but because they really are having opportunities to deepen their understandings as professionals. I think that is really at the source. And then I'm curious, because I know that we're in relationship to high expectation, we have those set for STAR and things like that. But as far as innovation, where are the nuggets of opportunities for innovation in this plan? Because I'm curious about that.
I think probably the biggest innovation probably is coming under the college career and life readiness. I think campuses and teachers are attacking those in different ways, whether it's Selene and her group, but all the SEL stuff that's coming through, a lot of them are falling in that mold, and they're trying a lot of different things. I think when you get to the early literacy and even the masters, you're going to see some innovation trying, but we're trying to keep an aligned curriculum program. So I think the innovation is going to come down there.
I really think the innovation is the future. You know, when we get to district improvement plans, I'll use an old adage: you can weigh the cow or you can feed the cow. And if we put too much emphasis on data and not enough on really watching the children, gathering those observations, and using those data to inform instruction, our cow will not grow. So I know it's a necessary part of communication, but it is also a slippery slope.
Oh, absolutely. Going back to one of your first statements, Ann, one of the things that I'm very pleased with, and we do a lot of work from Stephanie's crew getting ready to do our PD programs at the beginning of every school year. I've heard more, again, talking about developing teachers, I've heard more positive comments from the activities that we put on this year from teachers. As I walk around campuses, I've heard more positive comments from teachers saying, the crew is listening to our needs and is coming up with these. We are going to purchase products. We are going to do, in the hope that we have heard the needs of the teachers to give them tools to do that, but there is no substitute for what the teacher truly is and what he or she can become. And I think the PD programs that we have in place right now and in the future, I think we're meeting more needs than ever before. Great comment. Good question.
Okay, any other questions, comments?
I'd like to make a statement, President Kopp. And, we met 2 years ago at the OLC, and we just kind of targeted a bunch of stuff on the wall, and it seemed so abstract at that point in time. And, Dr. Warren, as he began to understand us and the needs and direction we want the district to go, I'd like to thank him for fine-tuning, and he's taken in everything that we provided for him. He's met with his staff, extraordinary staff. I want to say thank you for all of your time and effort. It's not easy to put one of these together. You got the state on one end saying, hey, STAR test, numbers, and on the other end, we're trying to make that complete student. So thanks to all the board members here, as well as the staff for all your hard work getting this thing together. I think it's a great document.
Thank you. Board, I'd recommend approval.
President.
Mr. Wright.
Move to approve the 2018-2019 district improvement plan as recommended by the administration.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Wright, a second by Mr. Sproles. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, I have 6 and 1 abstain. All right, next item, consider annual review and revisions of the Northwest ISD Board of Trustees Standards of Professional Practice. Dr. Warren?
Board, you have some homework. This is your annual homework you do every year. You always go back and review the standards of professional practice. The actual document begins on page 97 in your packet. Christy has gone through and she has highlighted some items there just for you to look at. Most of these are the changes that were made by the new strategic framework. She has updated all of the document for the new strategic framework. And then, let's see, Christy on page 15 of the document, page 116 in your packet, she has also revised the conflicts of interest. She's cleaned that up. What was the word that you used today, Christy? That some of the language was what? It was wonky. That's a legal term that we use now. The language she saw was wonky, and she has cleaned that up and basically has substituted the policy language in here. So the conflict of interest, she made that a lot more easy to understand and to do that. So if you would review this for the next couple of weeks until we have our next board meeting, and then any changes that you feel need to be made in these, we will put that. If you'll just get back to me, and we will make those changes, and then I will ask you to approve it next board meeting. And Angela Scott, sorry, Angela.
Any discussion on it tonight that anyone wants to mention? Okay. Moving on to reports. And the first one is board orientation report.
Board, our fearless leader, Mrs. Kopp, has requested, I think it's a very good idea. Ron just went through his board orientation, and things change so quickly, and Steve did it just the year before. She has asked us to come up over the next several meetings, and we're going to give you not the full-blown version, correct, Christy? Not the full-blown version, but just an abbreviated version of just the departments that we update you on when you're a new board member, and she thought that was a great idea, and just so to make sure that you're all current with the new information. So the first department that is up is our legal department, general counsel. So, Ms. Hobbs?
All right. To share with you what we do in the legal office on a general daily basis, our team obviously includes me and Julie Conklin. Julie joined the office about a month ago. She came to us from the DAEP, and she is the face of public information to the community. So when people make public information requests, they go directly to her. She is the kind and patient person who gathers the information and replies to their requests. And she also keeps everything running smoothly in the office. You can call me the Lucy of Legal. I handle legal questions that arise minute by minute. So when the phone rings or when someone stops into the office, it's always a pleasant surprise to guess what their legal question will be. It could be any number of issues, anything from, an AP that needs to search a kid's backpack and wants to know if we have consent or reasonable cause to do so, or someone wanting to know if we can let a principal jump out of an airplane during halftime at a football game. So lots of interesting questions, and they keep me on my toes. Of course, my office also handles board policy and administrative regulations. Board policy, of course, is housed on the TASB website. There are two ways that we update legal and local board policies. The first one is through TASB policy updates. We have a team of lawyers in Austin that works for TASB, and they recommend updates to board policies throughout the year as the law changes or as they see trends across the state where they think a change in policy would be beneficial. And so they'll draft those and send them out for us to review and consider and present to you. We can also change board policy through local policy updates. And those tend to be initiated locally if we see that a policy isn't working for us, or if we see that we need to make changes that will better serve our community and our students and our faculty. We can initiate those, just like we did over the last year over the policy over class rank. That was a local initiated policy. The process for that is typically someone determines that we have a need for that. In terms of the TASB policy updates, those needs are typically assessed in Austin. Our local policy updates, it's usually someone around here who says, hey, we need to change this. This isn't working for us. Then we will have those policies drafted and reviewed. We do have a board policy review committee that does the important task of making sure that policy is not just looked at by lawyers. I think if our policy is only drafted by Austin lawyers and then reviewed by a lawyer here in Justin, we're missing out on a whole lot. And so the board policy review committee consists of administrators and educators, in some cases parents, who they look at our proposed policy updates and they really dig in to see whether or not those policies are going to work with us, or if we need to make additional changes. And sometimes there are things that either I or some of the lawyers in Austin may have overlooked and not considered, that the people on the ground really can make some good suggestions for how we can improve those policies. And so our board policy review committee, we actually have 8 subcommittees that they're assigned to different areas within the policy. So we have one group of board policy committee members that look at personnel policies all year, and that's what their focus is. Another committee will focus on the student issues all year. But they do provide some crucial real-world implications for us, so that we're not just letting lawyers draft things up in the clouds that don't actually work for us. And then, of course, once we have board policy in a place where we feel like we can recommend that to you, we bring that to you and ask for your approval for those policies. Administrative regulations, I consider those to be the little brother to board policy. So they tend to support board policy, but they tend to be more rules and regulations and how we implement those policies practically. Some of the board policies are pretty self-explanatory on their face. Others of them we need additional criteria, maybe for administrators to consider as they're enforcing the policy. And so the administrative regulations, they're basically additional rules and criteria for administrators to consider when they're applying the policy. They also include forms and checklists. The process is fairly similar to board policy. The needs assessment tends to happen when an administrator says, hey, we need to change this isn't working, or we need some new forms, or we need some new rules to help guide us. And so they're drafted in-house. It's usually a collaboration between my office and the department who's asking for the regulation. We review those in executive cabinet meetings, and it is the cabinet who approves those. Administrative regulations are housed on our district website. We could house them on TASB's website, but it costs many thousands of dollars to do that, and so far folks have been really good about housing them here and making them accessible online. Another important part of the legal office is legal training. You've heard it said that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and I very much believe that in terms of legal training, in that we have bright people who work for us all over the district, and if we can educate them early on what the law says and what it requires, that we can do a whole lot more good educating in the beginning rather than trying to solve problems later that might arise if people were not aware of what our legal obligations are. I provided for you in your packet the legal training menu, and this is a list of 27 legal trainings that are offered to district staff, district students, community members, and I make those available primarily to principals so that if they see a need on their staff, they can invite me to come out and I'll train their staff on one of those particular issues. So last year, 2017-18 school year, I did 42 legal training sessions within Northwest ISD and 3 at conferences that supported our NISD staff. And then starting with this school year, I've already got 11 under my belt since July 30th. So we're up to a good start equipping our folks to comply with the law in that respect. Of course, we also handle public information requests. My office is the one that receives those requests from the public. We gather the responsive information. If there's any information requested that is protected by law, such as student information that may be protected by FERPA, or let's say someone's requested an employee's file. A teacher's transcript is actually protected under law. In most cases, the teacher's transcript can't be released to the public without significant redactions. So when we do get requests that have confidential information in them, I prepare a letter to the Attorney General and ask the Attorney General for permission to withhold or redact information under the law. And then we comply with those AG rulings. Last year we had 147 requests for information, and this year, since July 1, we're up to 25. So we're keeping pace with last year. And then the last major thing that the legal office does is responses to investigations from federal agencies. If a parent or student believes that we have violated their rights in some way, they can file a complaint with the Texas Education Agency or with the U.S. Department of Education Office for Civil Rights, and those agencies can open an investigation. And we're required to provide documents, provide written responses. In some cases, those investigations can include on-site interviews or on-site tours of the district, depending on what the type of complaint is. Same thing for complaints or charges that an employee might file with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. So when any of these agencies opens an investigation, my office works to collect the information they've requested and to respond to those agencies in a way that lets them know what we've done to comply with the law. And if they do request interviews or on-site investigations, we coordinate those as well. Any questions?
I just have a comment. I really enjoyed the pie charts and the different levels that the people that participated believed in.
Mm-hmm. And those were the actual responses they got to choose from.
Well, I think those were probably pretty true.
I really appreciated the menu of opportunities for learning, so thank you so much for doing that.
You're welcome.
Anything else? Thank you so much.
Good job, Steve. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to Facilities Monthly Report. Dr. Warren?
Mr. McClure.
Evening, Board. We'll jump right into tonight's report. We're going to go over some of the planning projects that we have going on right now, just briefly. The natatorium, we are still currently in design. We expect to bring you a presentation on that at the next board meeting. Byron Ellison High School addition, we're still in design on phase 2. Of course, last board meeting you all approved phase 1, so we've been getting ready to get the contractor ready out there. And then Sendera Ranch and Thompson Elementary Schools, the additions and renovations there, that's to bring those campuses up from 650 capacity to 850 capacity. Again, currently finalizing the design, and we expect to be bringing that to you in November for approval. So going into the construction projects, we show Hughes up there, the additions and renovations completed. There's actually just still a little bit of work, so that's why it's still on the list, and I'll show you some pictures on that. As well as Curtis, we have the kitchen, the stage, the courtyard area, and the 2 classroom wings that are still being worked on. Ag barn renovations, we'll go through that, and then Lance Thompson, and so we'll jump right into it. Here's Hughes. So obviously activities going on. If you look in the far left of the picture, you see a wall there that has a bunch of handprints on it and looks like some armor shields that have been painted up there. That's a temporary wall. That's where that movable partition goes that opens between the kitchen and the cafeteria. That was delayed in getting into the project in time for opening a school. So we built a temporary wall there. That will be installed over Christmas break. So when we say Hughes is pretty much open, it pretty much is, other than this temporary wall, and they're having some fun painting on it and putting some activities up there on the wall right now. The new installation of the playground equipment is in with some landscaping that still needs to be done around the exterior of both. We're still trying to get the grass established and irrigation in on both playground systems as those have been brought up to speed. On Curtis, again, there's the front entry of Curtis Elementary School. I just want to show you some finished pictures of some of the spaces that are being used right now. The library, you see the books that are in and on the shelf. There's a couple other, another view from the library, and then here's a group of kids having a reading here in the library as well. Here's the cafeteria as they're working still behind those closed partitions that you see to the right, the metal grates. So those are closed off while the kitchen work obviously is still being done inside there, but we're serving students every day there. Classrooms are obviously up and functional. Life has been going very well. Playground up and functional on the small kids side. The big kids playground should be in this week. We're with the rain delay, we were delayed just a little bit, but trying to finalize the big kids playground this week. So they'll have access to that. Big kids have access to some of the play areas and the hard surface play area, just the playground equipment was delayed with the weather. So that's coming in. There's that temporary wall that we're waiting on, the partition. Now, they got ahead of schedule. One thing we can say on Curtis, they did get ahead of schedule on is this actually is in and actually was installed over the weekend. So that temporary wall that separates the cafeteria and the gym is actually no longer there, and the partition is up as of this weekend. So I just didn't have a recent picture yet to put up there for you, but just know that that wall is gone and the temporary wall's up. There's the gym. We still have the temporary wall up from the stage area as they're still finishing the work behind the stage. But you can see the marker board, tack board surface, and the gym is fully functional with that wall in place right now. Here's some of the behind the scenes photos. I'll just kind of flip through these. This is the kitchen area. You can see the work that's happening, installation and the getting prepared of the freezer and coolers. All the kitchen equipment serving line. There's those coiling doors that are down right now separating from the cafeteria. And then the back of house with the vent and the kitchen equipment being installed in the back of house. This is Wing E, so one of the wings that's being worked on right now. So they've just put in the doors to the flex space. Here's another shot of that. Again, a lot of equipment and stuff still going in above the ceiling as they prepare to turn over those spaces as they work diligently for that. That's just looking down one of the corridors, again, as they're doing their work in those wings E and F. Move on to the ag barn. Still moving ahead there. This is inside. Let's see if I can remember this right. This is inside the what will be the goat and sheep barn. Have I got that right? Yeah, Slim gives me the thumbs up. So the goat and sheep barn, they're reworking this area right now to bring them in here pretty soon. This is currently where the goat and sheep are habitating with the cows right now. There's the cows on one side and goat and sheep on the other side. And there is the new cow barn being erected or being poured as they're finishing that off. Once that cow barn goes up, I back up a slide, relocate everybody out of this, and then this becomes the new pig barn. So there's kind of just a shifting of pieces as we're getting everything ready for the ag barns to come online here in another 2 months, right? Yeah, 2 months. So a lot to get done in 2 months, but we're moving through there. Lance Thompson Elementary. Again, brought you the updates last week. You can kind of see the grade work being done there, our last board meeting. Since last board meeting, I'll just flip to the important pictures. We've been doing concrete slab pours. So we're actually getting a slab down now. So things are moving right on schedule there. Very excited to see the work going in on the slabs. And pretty soon we'll have a structure going up and it'll start to take shape. So. Next thing I want to bring to you just real quickly tonight is we're working on a new website. So we've given you a couple of websites as I've onboarded, the long-range planning website and the NISD TX bond website. Just kind of revisit those. There's the long-range planning committee website. It's an opportunity for us to be transparent with the community, with you all to have that access and to your fingertips on the web at any time. This is still live and active. We actually still update the long-range planning website because we do 2 meetings, one in the spring, one in the fall with long-range planning, and give them an update on where we are on the bond. They were so active in helping us produce the bond work that we go back and we give them an update on where we are. So we actually bring those meetings and post those to that website as well. And then when you move over to the bond website, of course, that talks about the actual what was in the bond. So if you ever have to go back and reference that, you can break that down by campus or by type of work. It basically tells everything that we had in information on the bond website. So we're hopeful that in maybe the next month, we're really close to the end, we could bring you this website. We don't have it up and live yet, so some of the pictures you see on here are still placeholders. But we want to introduce the NISD construction website. And what this is allows an opportunity for that transparency to happen at any time. You could log on, the community can log on and see the timeline of when projects are moving forward. I'll kind of walk you through the general website. We would feature whatever's actively going on. It's kind of on the splash page right there. You see Lance Thompson and Byron Nelson and the natatorium. All as you could click on those, it'd take you right to those projects and show you where they are in the construction phase. Or if you clicked up top, you see my little red circle that comes in up there. You see completed projects. So what we've done, we're in the process of doing, is going back about 10 years. We're not going back to the beginning of time. We thought 10 years is a pretty good mark to start with, and trying to put in all those projects that we've completed from every bond so that people can see the work that's been done out here in the district. And so it's just a real brief description of what's going in and when the completion date was and what bond it fell under. If you see that circle up there at the top, I hit for active projects. If you hit that link, it would take you to, a map that shows you all the active projects that are going on in the district and where they're located right now, and then the list of the projects that you could click on. If you were to click on, say, Lance Thompson, you see the circle there. If you hit that, it would bring that page up. It would show some construction photos. Obviously, those are not construction photos of Lance Thompson. Again, we're getting the site built right now. But you see the data on there on the side. It talks about where it's located. It talks about what grade it served, when it's opening, what the school colors and mascot, if there's virtual tour or any student input or anything we could add to that page to just show the process of that school being done, or whether it's a remodel or an addition or a brand new facility. Just a place to house where we show the construction progress. And then you have those list of pictures that you could scroll in each month and see the different pictures that are being taken on the site. Hit the next button that says Projects and Planning, and that would take you to a map that showed you what projects are currently in the design phase and where those are in the timeline of being delivered. And then at the end, you see the last one there is the background and resources, and of course that gives you access to those other websites I showed you, the Long Range Planning Committee, the bond election website. It gives you access to our growth demographic reports. You get all this on our website right now. We're just trying to make that loop if people are here and they want to see that other information. Again, or if you need to hit the attendance boundaries, all those are quick accesses from the resource side. So we're working real diligently to try to get that website up and running. I hope by the next board meeting it's up and running. and then we can say, hey, go visit it as much and as often as you like. So that's our report for today.
I love the website. But I do have a question about Lizzie Curtis's kitchen. When
Yes.
is that going to be completed? Do you know?
Right now, we're targeting the first week in October. So we're trying to push them to open by October, but right now we're the first week in October. So.
And just curious, what school is providing food for Curtis?
They're currently, I believe they're fixing food at Eaton or Adams. I can't remember which one. I think it's Eaton. And then they're bringing that over. They're serving it hot. They've got the warmers, the actual warmers that go into the kitchen. That equipment's already there. It's set up behind them. So they're serving warm food to the kids, but they're preparing it off-site. I believe it's at Eaton. Do you remember? I think it's Eaton.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. McClure, you said at the last meeting, are they providing those meals for free?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Thank you.
Whose idea was it, the construction website?
That was yours truly. That was mine. Yep.
That's a great idea.
Thank you.
Just to get the information out there, because I know the natatorium is starting to get a lot of buzz on social media, and to be able to point them into a direction they can get all the information. So for the ambassadors, the PTAs, and even the school administrators,
absolutely,
can get that information out there. That's a great idea.
Well, one of the things that I think it benefits is obviously we know you guys and ladies get very limited time here, and so to have that at your fingertips, it maybe shortens our reports monthly a little bit. I'm trying to shorten them. I know you want to hear from me, but it gives you that access to hopefully keep up with that, so we can be a little bit more brief and get straight to any questions that you have. But it gives you that access. We're going to try to upload pictures like twice a month, so try to keep those in line with the board meeting. So as we have a board meeting, we have new pictures coming online, and we'll work with our construction companies, our architects and engineers to gather those photos and bring those online so people can kind of see that progress as it's moving along. Thank you.
Anything else?
Yeah, I would just like to say one thing, between you and Sarah and Jim, there's few project managers that spend $2.5 million a month, but I've got to applaud you. You're not a big staff, but you get it done. So it's amazing. I appreciate the job that you guys do.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Item 10, consider any item removed from the consent agenda. There were none. Board President's Report. Board, we have our Team of 8 training on Monday, the 17th at 5:30 p.m. in here.
We will probably start in here, and then we'll go to the executive conference room for the actual training.
Okay, and then we have the TASB convention September 28th through 30th in Austin. And then Friday, Northwest Metroport Legislative Luncheon at 11 a.m. at the Marriott Champion Parkway. That's it. And Dr. Wu, it says 11 on here. I don't know.
We'll check that. Yes, ma'am.
All right, and now the superintendent's report.
Board, just 2 things this week. We have 2 football games this week, but also there's 2 opportunities for some community outreach. Thursday night, Northwest will be playing Grapevine. That night is the NEF VIP reception, so there'll be a lot of the folks that Judy and I work with on the NEF board, so that'll be a great way to come up there. We'll invite them up to the press box. So that's Thursday beginning at 7 o'clock. And then the very next night, Eaton High School is going to have their very first homecoming, and so that'll be really neat. And then Joel has got a activity planned for halftime. Our 2018 state championship baseball team is going to be honored during halftime of the football game, and they're actually going to be given their championship rings. So that'll be very neat. And truly, I would love you all to come. The ones of you, if you can attend, I'd love to be on the field with us to help present those to the kids. That'd be a neat experience. Mrs. Kopp, that's all I have.